Over the decades, we've witnessed a slow death on the mound, a changing of the guard in baseball's hierarchy. Gone are the days of the ironclad workhorse, a man who didn't just start the game, he finished it. Someone who took the bullpen and told him, "I've got this." Think of Cy Young, who threw over 7,000 innings, or Nolan Ryan, who had a belief that pitch counts are for the people that don't work hard. These were the Titans who carved through the lineups with surgical precision, like a maestro conducting chaos, hurling 120, 140, even 160 pitches a night. The mindset was simple. If you start the game, you end it. The bullpen, that was for emergencies. Fast forward to today. Starting pitchers have become sprinters, not marathoners. They give their best 5 to 6 innings, maybe 7 if the stars align. Just look at this year's All-Star game. 2 flamethrowers took the mound, Skubal and Skeens. Both can touch triple digits and mix in wicked off-speed stuff. But between them, they've gone past the 7th inning just 5 times in 49 combined starts. This isn't a slump, it's a new era. The starting pitcher, as we once knew him, is dead. When looking at the number of complete games thrown per year, there's a clear and steady decline. The undeniable truth is, complete games are vanishing. To understand why, we have to open the history books. We start in 1923 with Furpo Marbury, a hard-throwing, no-nonsense pitcher, a fastball-first guy with little finesse. By his second year, he was already a hybrid arm, starting 15 games and pitching in relief 35 times, racking up 195 innings. By his 4th season, he split time evenly between starting and relieving. Though, at just 28 years old, Marbury remarked, "Relief pitching is a job for a young pitcher. His arm can withstand wear and tear of uncertain work." Today, that quote might draw laughs from a 28-year-old being considered too old for the bullpen, but it's reflected in the time of the thinking. Marbury finished with 187 career starts. In relief, he sets early standards for the role, holding the single-season saves record 22 and career mark 101 for years. We can regard him as the birth of the reliever. Though Marbury helped establish the idea of the reliever, his managers for the Tigers and Washington Senators still leaned heavily on starters in high-leverage postseason moments, showing the lack of philosophical shift that had yet to occur in organizations. That began to change with the Yankees under Joe McCarthy. In the 1930s and 40s, McCarthy began using his relievers not just as mop-up arms, but as weapons. Johnny Murphy, nicknamed the Fireman for his ability to extinguish rallies, became a 3-time All-Star with a sharp curveball and a starter-like presence. One sports writer noted, McCarthy used him judiciously, effectively, and when it mattered most. With Murphy as their closer, the Yankees won 6 World Series titles. His successor, Joe Page, continued that trend in the late 1940s. Earning 3 All-Star appearances and finishing 3rd and 4th in MVP voting in different years. Slowly, the bullpen was gaining strategic legitimacy. By the 1950s, the other teams began to follow the Yankees' examples. Most pitching staffs began carrying 2 to 3 relievers dedicated to bullpen duty. In 1950, John Constantine of the Phillies became the first full-time reliever to win the MVP, posting a 2.66 ERA with 22 saves in 152 innings. Helping lead Philadelphia to the National League pennant. Still, bullpen roles look different than today. Many relievers were expected to throw 2 to 4 innings at a time, often finishing games after the starter exited. By the 1970s, the idea of the invincible starter began to erode. On June 25, 1975, Steve Busby threw 12 innings in a win against California. At the time, he had thrown 2 no-hitters and a career 52-35 record. After the game, his arm was never the same. He went 18-19 for the rest of his career. Mark Fidrich, a 20-year-old rookie sensation, threw 24 complete games in 1976, but never regained that dominance. These high-mileage outings raised alarms. Pitching coach Larry Shepard of the Big Red Machine was criticized after young arms like Wayne Simpson, Don Gullett, and Gary Nolan broke down early. That same Reds team, managed by Sparky Anderson, began leaning more heavily on the bullpen, deploying multiple relievers to match up in the later innings. In 1975, they set a then record by going 45 consecutive games without a complete game. In 1984, USA Today began publishing pitch counts and box scores, giving fans and media a tool to scrutinize overuse. That external pressure added to the shifting philosophy. By the late 1980s and early 90s, Tony La Russa revolutionized bullpen usage. He introduced a structured hierarchy: closer, setup man, middle reliever, and lefty specialist. This system, popularized by his Oakland A's and later refined with the Cardinals, has become the modern bullpen template still used today. By 2000s, sabermetrics had entered the mainstream. The Oakland A's and their 2002 Moneyball team showed how data could drive performance, not just with hitters but with pitching too. Front offices began using statistical insights to measure how pitcher effectiveness drops the third time through the order. Managers were given charts like this, showing how batting averages and OPS soared on a starter's third time through the lineup. That became gospel. The numbers reflected the shift. In 2000, managers allowed starters to exceed 120 pitches in 12% of the starts. In 2001, that was cut in half. By 2006, halved again. By 2024, not a single pitcher eclipsed the 120 pitch mark. That level of workload has gone extinct. The 2007 Florida Marlins, although not a great team, became the first team to go an entire season without a complete game. The Rays became the modern Moneyball team, fully embraced bullpen specialization. Cash's strategy was built around limiting exposure to third time through the order for starters. Then, in Game 6 of the 2020 World Series,
you talk about a short leash. 73 pitches, 2 hits, 9 strikeouts. Snell can't believe it.
Starter Blake Snell had dominated the Dodgers through 5 1/3 innings, allowing just 2 hits. But with the lineup turning over, Cash pulled Snell, trusting the data in his bullpen, and, well, we all know how that turned out. The move sparked heaps of controversy, but it wasn't just a decision, it was a philosophy. In today's game, the numbers dictate the leash. Managers don't manage by feel, they manage by forecast. Not every manager is as extreme as Kevin Cash, but the direction is clear. The era of the Ironman starter is over. Today's Aces is a max effort sprinter, not a 9-inning general. The workhorse is an endangered species, replaced by a machine of relievers, matchups, and math. But other than increased win probability, why might this be? The average fastball velocity has steadily increased over the years. In the 1980s, fastballs typically sat around 88 to 89 miles per hour. Last year, the MLB average was 94.2. While some of the increase can be attributed to improvements in measurement tools, the discrepancy isn't solely technology. Pitchers are undeniably throwing harder. In past decades, starters paced themselves, knowing that they are expected to throw deeper into games, 7 or more innings. They would often take a few miles per hour off their fastball to conserve the energy. This might have meant giving up more hits or balls in play early, but also allowed managers to preserve their small bullpens for the later innings. That philosophy has vanished. With stars averaging just 5.22 innings per outing in 2024, they no longer need to think about the 6th or 7th. Teams now expect near perfection in the small stints, pushing pitchers to go all out from the very first pitch. As one former MLB pitcher put it, now they chase velocity. I had to play a chess match to get 24 to 27 outs. Now it's a sprint to go as hard as you can, as long as you can. Starters have a reliever's mentality now. This mentality shift has come with a price. In a recent study conducted by the MLB at reducing pitcher injuries, one of the most telling findings was that injuries weren't just random. Many were tied directly to pitchers chasing performance. The report cited 3 major contributors to injury surge: the pursuit of higher velocity, the obsession with the nastier pitch stuff, and the growing emphasis on max effort training and game performance. Tommy John surgery has become almost a rite of passage. In 2024 alone, 41 Major League pitchers underwent the procedure. The consequences of these injuries ripple across teams and payrolls. Look at the 2 of the league's highest paid starters, Zach Wheeler and Jacob deGrom. Wheeler is earning $42 million a year, while deGrom is making $37 million. Both deals are guaranteed and are some of the highest paid players in the league. If pitchers get hurt, and history suggests many do, the teams are still on the hook financially. That makes protecting their health a priority. Enter the concept of workload management. While it's existed in baseball for decades, modern front offices has elevated it to a core strategy. A defining example came in April 2022, when Dodgers manager Dave Roberts pulled Clayton Kershaw after 80 pitches, despite the fact he was perfect through 7 innings. A potential place in history was sacrificed to reduce injury risk. The data told Roberts that pitchers that ramped up too early in the season are significantly more prone to injury, so he made the call. It is a reflection of the catch-22 modern pitchers face. If you're expected to throw your best stuff from the first pitch, and if that stuff only lasts 80 pitches, then you're never going to be allowed to chase greatness, even when the situation calls for it. Jacob deGrom is the epitome of this dynamic. In 2021, he was on pace for the best pitching season of all time, posting an ERA of 1.08 and an astronomical ERA plus of 373, 82 points higher than the best full season mark in history. But that dominance came at a cost. In a mere 2.5-month span from May to July, DeGrom suffered injuries in his back, elbow, shoulder, and forearm. He pitched just 15 games that season. What could have been one of the greatest seasons ever was just instead remembered for the injuries that derailed it. That's been the story of DeGrom's recent career. After back-to-back Cy Young awards and a dominant COVID-shortened 2020 season, he struggled to stay on the field. We're now seeing signs of resurgence, and fans can only hope that his body holds up. But his trajectory, like so many others, raises a difficult question. Is this relentless pursuit of perfection breaking our best pitchers before they even get to finish a game? Some of the top starting pitchers this era are Clayton Kershaw and Max Scherzer. Between 2011 and 2019, Kershaw had one of the most dominant primes in baseball history, winning 3 Cy Youngs and even an MVP, a rare feat for a pitcher. During that stretch, he topped 200 innings pitched 4 times and posted an ERA of under 2 in 2 seasons. That kind of run cements history in the Hall of Fame. Scherzer followed a similar trajectory. He too won 3 Cy Young awards, struck out over 3,000 batters, and threw over 200 innings 6 times, combining power, durability, and even intensity in every outing. Both Kershaw and Scherzer were aces in the modern mold, dominant but adapted to the new era of pitch counts, bullpen specialization, and workload management. But if there's one pitcher from this era who truly embodied the old school workhorse mentality, it's Justin Verlander. Verlander has thrown over 200 innings a staggering 12 times, a number that looks increasingly unthinkable in today's game. While his peak might not match Kershaw's microscopic ERAs or Scherzer's strikeout total, his longevity and consistency put him in a class of his own. He too has captured 3 Cy Youngs and an MVP. But what sets him apart is how he managed games, cruising early while keeping something in the tank for high leverage moments, often dialing it up to 97 miles per hour plus in the 7th or 8th innings. Even as the league shifted to 5-inning starts, openers, and strict pitch limits, Verlander kept logging outings late into his late 30s. Although he's shown signs of wear and tear with his 0-5 record this year and recent injuries, he remains the closest active pitcher to the elusive 300-win milestone, a mark last reached by Randy Johnson in 2009. In an era where 180 innings is now considered durable, Verlander is a living anomaly, the last of a dying breed, a modern-day gladiator holding on to an ancient code. Take the ball and don't give it back. We're not likely to see another 300-game winner. Complete games are museum pieces, not milestones. But baseball, like an organism, adapts. Today's aces might not pitch 9 innings, but they throw over 100 miles per hour with sliders that bend physics. The death of a starter isn't the end of pitching dominance. It's just a new chapter in the ever-winding, beautiful game called baseball.